Welcome viewer, welcome to our perspective. Here's the breaking news from Singapore. Yes, a Singaporean man convicted of trying to traffic around 2.2 pounds of cannabis was executed on Wednesday, a sentence lambasted by rights groups and campaigners for its severity at a time when many other nations, including neighboring countries, have adopted a more lenient approach towards drugs and capital punishment. While cannabis has been legalized in a growing number of nations worldwide, Singapore maintains some of the world's harshest drug laws, and its government remains adamant that capital punishment works to deter drug traffickers and must remain in place to maintain public safety. Tangaraju Supai, a 46-year-old Singaporean, was put to death on Wednesday in Changi Prison, Singapore Prison Services said in a brief statement. His sister, Linabhatti Supai, told CNN that her brother had been hanged and that the family had received a death certificate. It was Singapore's first execution in 6 months. In the days leading up to Tangaraju being sent to the gallows, family members and activists made public appeals for clemency and questioned the safety of his conviction. The European Union's office in the city-state and United Nations Rights Office had also called for Singapore not to carry out his hanging. Tangaraju was sentenced to death in 2018 for abetting the trafficking of more than 1 kilogram of cannabis. According to a statement from the Central Narcotics Bureau, the court found he was in phone communication with 2 other men caught trying to smuggle cannabis into Singapore. Previous appeals against his conviction and death sentence were dismissed by the courts in 2019, while petitions for presidential clemency were also unsuccessful, CNB added. Tangaraju was accorded full due process under the law and had access to legal counsel throughout the process, CNB's statement said, while describing capital punishment as part of Singapore's comprehensive harm prevention strategy. Family members and rights groups who took up Tangaraju's cause rejected the government's claims and detailed why they believed his death sentence conviction was unsafe. Tangaraju's conviction relied mainly on statements from his police interrogation taken without a lawyer and interpreter present, and the testimony of his 2 co-accused, one of which had his charges dismissed, Amnesty International said. In countries that have not yet abolished this punishment, international safeguards require that the death penalty be imposed only when the guilty of the person charged is based upon clear and convincing evidence, leaving no room for an alternative explanation of the facts and after a legal process which gives all possible safeguards to ensure a fair trial, Amnesty added. Tangaraju's sister Linabhatti spoke of her brother's anguish and determination before his death sentence was carried out. Even from inside prison, he wanted to fight for his innocence. She told CNN he believed that there would be a fair trial and wanted to prove his innocence every step of the way. The Transformative Justice Collective, a local abolitionist movement, highlighted what they said were serious problems with evidence used to convict Tangaraju, describing it as shockingly thin. The case against Tangaraju is largely circumstantial and based on interference, TJC said in a series of statements. He never touched the cannabis he was accused of attempting to traffic. He was tied to the offense by 2 phone numbers found on the mobile phones of 2 men arrested by the CNB, one of which had been used to coordinate the cannabis delivery. Tangaraju was already in remand for a separate offense by the time he was linked to this case, and his mobile phones were never recovered for analysis, the group added. Last year, Thailand became the first country in Asia to decriminalize cannabis following years of campaigning by activists on the ground. Meanwhile, Malaysia, Singapore's closest neighbor, passed sweeping legal reforms earlier this month to remove the mandatory death penalty and trimmed the number of offences, including drug crimes, punishable by death, a move welcomed by rights defenders. Behind the report, Perspective.